Welcome back to FilmBook Review. Today, we're reviewing the 2025 film One Battle After Another, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson and starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Chase Infiniti, and Teyana Taylor. This is a One Battle After Another movie review and there will be spoilers. Let's get into it. Renowned filmmaker Paul Thomas Anderson's latest One Battle After Another plays like an ambitious attempt at showing the power of a father-daughter bond, while juxtaposing it against the conflicting politics of people in an uncertain world. This film is sometimes bloated, running over 2.5 hours, but has some remarkable performances to carry it through the slumps. Leonardo DiCaprio is featured as a man named Bob, a former revolutionary who is now raising his wise and opinionated daughter Willa. There is a preliminary series of scenes that sets the stage for the development of the characters of Bob and Willa, and they involve a truly psychotic military man, Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw. Penn does much of the heavy lifting here in terms of chewing scenery, and his performance is one of the great cinematic triumphs of recent years. Unfortunately, One Battle After Another gets bogged down in a series of chase scenes that occasionally outwear their welcome. This film opens with Stephen J. Lockjaw's interaction with a tough-as-nails Perfidia. Perfidia humiliates Stephen by making him maintain an erection through an embarrassing hurdle that doesn't end well. DiCaprio's character is also present in scenes that correspond with the interaction between Perfidia and the Colonel. Eventually, the movie skips ahead to years later, where Bob is an overprotective dad, questioning the friends that Willa associates with. Bob visits Willa's school and meets with a teacher, well played by Tisha Sloan. While the action plot kicks in full force at a school dance that Willa attends, the movie never really gels in its early scenes. There's too much going on, and the dynamics of the plot development force the character development to be kept to a minimum. As the storyline unfolds, the characters grow through a series of intense events, but the characters never feel as relatable as they could have been. Anderson keeps us at a distance from almost all the characters here for much of the movie, letting their stories unfold one plot detail at a time. Benicio del Toro often steals the movie as Sensei Sergio St. Carlos, who guides Bob on his quest to find his daughter after a series of events puts her life in grave danger. Willa ends up with some wild nuns at one point and is further shown to talk out TV show titles like The Beverly Hillbillies as some sort of connecting device while the action spirals out of control in an unpredictable manner. There are a few really great scenes where we're led down some hilly roads as a tense car chase ensues, with a particular man following Willa. Willa stops her car and gets out of it while the chaser bumps his car into hers. And well, I'll let you see how the scenario plays out. In the interim, DiCaprio's character is hiding from the authorities with skateboarders and the sensei, who eventually takes him in a ride for a car for a bit until he makes Bob jump out of it to go find his daughter on his own. Meanwhile, Penn's colonel is trying to see if he has a particular bond with Willa. That relationship could be more than meets the eye, and Regina Hall's Deandra gets some moments to shed tears trying to protect those she loves at all costs. DiCaprio is forced to look confused much of the time, here jumping off buildings and hiding beside the sensei, until he eventually spends much of the movie driving around alone in search of Willa. DiCaprio plays the role well, but it's certainly not the best work the actor has done. Nevertheless, there's a quiet sadness in DiCaprio's performance since his character is truly frightened at the prospect of losing the daughter he loves so much. Chase Infiniti is solid gold as the daughter who is forced to fend for herself when pitted against the evil colonel and other various assorted goons. Infiniti brings a wide range of emotions to her role, even if Anderson never really lets her come across as much more than a young woman fighting for her survival. We respect her, and Infiniti brings a lot more to the role than what's on the page, making the performance a true highlight of the movie. Del Toro has never been more intriguing, especially in a scene where the cops pull him over and he plays dumb to try to protect Bob and considerably help him out. Del Toro does some slick moves here, and they're quite humorous in the scene where the cops question him and the actor gets a few moments to steal the spotlight. This is pretty much Penn's movie to ultimately own, though. Penn almost literally explodes into character as he grabs DNA swabs to see if a certain someone is something more than they could be. Penn is volatile and fierce in a role that the actor grabs by the horns and never lets go of throughout the duration of the film. There are a number of scenes that drag here, however. When the Colonel is thought to be dead, the film further brings him back for a prolonged ending that could have been left on the cutting room floor. For a movie that runs over 2.5 hours, there's precious little going on past the initial stages of the film, making it more of a chase picture than anything else. It's a decent chase film overall, with compelling sequences that highlight Anderson's unique and controversial filmmaking style. This film comes closer to being more like Inherent Vice in terms of quality than The Great Magnolia, though, in the way it unfolds, and it's not the director's true masterpiece I was hoping it would be. Still, one battle after another must be seen. While the heroes fight for the greater good and for justice above all else, the villain fights against the common goal, which complicates the layered plot and makes it very interesting. Penn's performance plays like gangbusters in a movie that's all over the place with its complex politics. Anderson's film is only focused when it zeroes in on the father-daughter relationship between DiCaprio and Infiniti's characters. As they face an uphill battle to reunite, audiences will enjoy the end results, but may look at their watches a few times over the course of the film due to a number of meandering scenes throughout. One battle after another is nothing short of a fascinating story about the true meaning of the word family, and is a solid effort by the always intriguing Anderson. Infiniti's American Girl performance could lead her to an Oscar nod, and Penn may want to start clearing off his mantelpiece for another acting trophy or two come award season. And that brings us to the conclusion of this One Battle After Another movie review. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. If you enjoyed this review, hit like and subscribe to the channel. For the latest movie and TV news, sign up for our daily newsletter or download the FilmBook Android app for instant alerts. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching, and you can check out one of these reviews next.